3 to 5 minutes to tell us why you're running for Congress in District 34. And then afterwards have about 5 minutes or 10 minutes of Q&A.
Amazing. Yeah. This is my favorite thing ever. You're bringing me back to facilitating neighborhood council meetings. I know maybe's been on Silver Lake, right? Or yeah. And I love this work. And that's really why I'm running in a short. But I'm so excited to be introducing myself as your neighbor, Angie, but also a new voice for California's 34th district. And my name is Angela Gonzales-Torres. I'm running to represent the heart of Los Angeles in Congress because we need and we deserve an actual progressive leader who will fight for us and stand with us and not just leave to Washington, D.C., close the door behind him, and really forget about us Angelinos. I want to say it's really important for me to emphasize, unlike our current representative, I am born and raised in this district. My family for generations have built this city, and women in particular in my lineage have really put themselves on the front lines of fighting for a better city. And I graduated from our public schools here and worked 2 jobs, and I still work 2 jobs, but I put myself through Pasadena City College and UCLA, and I brought that knowledge back home to fight for working families like my own. And it was, a decision my students and I made together. And it's been a privilege over the past 6 years to work at Pasadena City College, helping formerly incarcerated students overcome recidivism through education. And our work is working, which is why I want to say I think that's why we're seeing such a big pushback. But currently, I really feel the urgency of this moment as ICE is tearing more of our families apart. I am a daughter of a deportee. I've lived through my own father's deportation, and what we are seeing is not only heartbreaking, but it's absolutely unacceptable. And my family's faced the same struggles, our community still faces today, from housing insecurity, wage stagnation, gun violence, and like I said, family separation. But I believe that's why I'm running for Congress because that's why all of those things informed why I organized as a student in high school, why I chose to lead my neighborhood council as president during a really hard time post-pandemic, and why I've spent my life fighting for permanent affordable housing, clean air, and real public safety in particular. So I think that those of us closest to that pain need to be closest to positions of power so that we can see real change. And I want to say one thing, there's a lot to celebrate in this district. And I know why people move here. I know more so why so many of us are fighting to stay here and thrive here. And with that, it's the best place to call home, but we are also home to some of the highest cost of incarceration. That's both human and fiscal cost. The largest jail system on the face of the planet is here, and we don't have congressional advocacy in talking about that. We are also home to the dirtiest air in all of LA County, and we are home to the highest levels of eviction notices issued in the entire city, according to the LA City Controller's Office. And so the good news, I just listed a couple of bad things, but is that we have all of the answers. We just don't have anybody who is answering our call. So I did not move here to become a politician, period. Nonetheless, nearly fully funded by corporate super PACs. So I'm really excited to bring real representation and respect to this district. Thank you so much. I think that was 3 minutes. That was really hard to put in 3 minutes, but I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Angela. You could have went longer.
Oh,
That's
I
okay.
want to leave. I love dialogue, so I really welcome any questions and comments and thoughts because we're really experiencing some crazy stuff.
Mhm. I guess I'll start with the first question. I know that in this race, I think there's like 5 people running, is
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, how do you feel about, or what do you think that's going to do to the vote? Do you think it's going to split the vote, or do you think?
I'll start by saying this. this is a district that 70% hasn't turned out to vote in past elections. That's terrifying to me. I know. But the fact that I'm running means we're on the right track because I did not know who represented me on a congressional level until about 2.5 years ago. I mean, I voted for Jimmy Gomez the first time, and there's a whole story there. But and I really had high hopes for him, but I really didn't know what was possible on a congressional level. And now we've seen over 1,000 individual donations, and typically only 2 out of 14 neighborhoods are targeted. And every single neighborhood, individuals from every single neighborhood have pitched in and said, I've never donated to a candidate before. I have no idea what Congress is. I really feel fatigued by everything going on, but I want to store my hope in your campaign. And that's really what my focus is, not really about splitting votes eventually. I do think, as the only woman in this race, I don't need to tell anybody that I've had to work already 5 times as hard as my male counterparts in this race. And I want to make it very clear that our opposition can put aside all of their differences to achieve their one goal of remaining in and even abusing positions of control. And we need to figure out when to lead, follow, and get out of the way. And I think that Jimmy Gomez has for sure shown us that he can't do the first thing, which is why I am running. And I know we can come together and figure out how to support each other, because a lot of lives have been already lost and impacted, and a lot more lives are at stake. And so I feel the urgency of getting that message across to the other people in this race, as well.
Okay, and then one more question. Are you busy on October 25th?
I'm coming to see you guys, I
Oh,
think, right? As a
yay! Okay,
costume.
that'd be
Is that
great.
what's happening? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, if you could speak for a couple minutes,
Yes, about
the event is on
healthcare.
health, centering on healthcare. I'm pretty sure CalCare is going to be on the floor again next year.
Oh,
Um,
good.
so we are going to be fighting for that wholeheartedly, right?
Nice.
And we are also thinking about pushing a ballot initiative alongside it so that
Yeah.
we can move the legislation through,
We
at the same time as educating the public.
Nice. It's time. Yes, I just met with someone yesterday and picked his brain on that. So he'll be really excited that we're doing that.
Yeah. So, does anybody have any questions for Angela? Does anybody?
Comments, concerns?
Yeah, how are you in terms of fundraising?
Uh, I thought you were going to say, how am I in general? I was like, oh, that's a good one. We're really close to our goal of 100K this month alone. Again, I'm looking at really the fact that it's been overwhelmingly small individual, I mean, just small individual donors. And so Jimmy Gomez last year only accepted 1 to 2% from small individual donors. That's about $30,000. And his number one donor was APAC, who poured in nearly $3 million. So it's important for me to emphasize that this is 100% grassroots and small donors. And it's because we've been asking for change for so long. So we're seeing that. Thank you for the emojis. I know it's crazy.
Does anyone else have any questions? Janine.
Yeah.
Hey, hi.
Hi.
I'm in the dark.
Me
Sorry.
too. I'm working with what I got too.
Um, I'm in your district, Angela.
Amazing.
Yeah. And so Jimmy has kind of been a disappointment for sure. I mean, and more recently it came out that, he's got all this money coming from APAC. And I joined Blake, so I don't know if you
Mhm.
already spoke about this. But to me, that's, one of the things that is really driving people away from the Democratic Party is that there's not strong stands being taken to stand up for Palestine and really call out Israel and our support of Israel. So I was wondering if you could comment on that, because to me, it's going to be the number one thing
Yeah.
next year. So,
Mhm.
and nobody wants to admit it, but and it's one thing to say it, but there's another reason, another thing to really get out there and start talking about it. So I'm just wondering how you feel.
Yeah, I have my Palestinian pin here because
Oh,
it's such a weird thing for me to be navigating the world, going to work, paying bills, even in some political spaces that I'm in, where I'm advocating for Palestine in private and also very publicly because it's the right thing to do, and history will remember who was not only selling out our communities locally, but also complicit in the worst thing I've could have never imagined. I'm speechless. Oh my gosh! But I want to say that's one of the number one reasons why I'm running. When I saw what happened on my UCLA campus, I was working for the vice chancellor's office when October 7th of 2 years ago happened. And the response from our administration, I lost my job for advocating for students' rights, our right to protest. I mean, but then it was just all the other stuff that was going on where I tried to write about it, and some of my students at Pasadena City College tried to write about the genocide in Gaza and criticize particularly the Israeli government, not anybody else, not, um, and we got disciplined for it. I've never seen anything like that. And so I want to say, I want to go back to your question. This is not just the number one issue to you, that we've talked to so many people, and everybody, I mean, that we've talked to, it's been a question that they ask what my stance is, what I will do when we make it to the Congress, how we will make this better for Angelenos, for Americans, but also people around the world that are being impacted by our tax dollars in just the most inhumane way. And so it's quite simple. My mom's been an advocate. She for those who have somehow it's been up to those of us who have the least to speak up for those who have even less somehow. And she's really raised me in that way. And so I think, unfortunately, people like Jimmy Gomez have just like lost their moral compass. That's not an option for me. I could not go to my local bakery. They're doing what they can, even though small businesses are hurting everywhere, to help end this genocide. And it's going to be a big deal. And that's why we're looking for more support, because Jimmy Gomez hasn't even signed on to block the bombs, to allow baby formula in, to stand up for our college students and high school students' rights to ask questions and to a safe campus. And so that means that he's already going to accept more APAC money. And this was the only general election that they targeted last year here in CA 34. And so we're going to show them we might not have that much political power for now, but we have people power, and we know knowledge is power. And so we know that we deserve better than this. Thank you for your question. You almost got me there.